Hello everyone and welcome to Fifth North. First of all, Happy New Year. Welcome to the first video of 2021. I'm pretty excited about this one. Actually, I've been wanting to shoot it for a little bit of time now. It's called What's in My Camera Bag, or specifically What's in My Camera Bag for 2021, as I do plan to make this a yearly thing. A lot of the content creators on YouTube, specifically photographers and cinematographers that I watch or that I'm inspired by, they make this kind of a yearly tradition where they talk about what's in their camera bag, what equipment they're currently using, and it's kind of fun to watch how it changes or doesn't change from year to year. So this will be my take on that type of a video, so hopefully you enjoy it. I know I've been pretty excited to make it. So what I'm going to do is bring out my gear one by one, kind of talk about it, explain it, give you a brief opinion slash how I use it, why I use it, and we'll just kind of go from there. I do want to point out one thing though. There are 3 pieces of equipment that I will not show you, that I'll just tell you about. And here's why. So first off is my camera body. It's a Sony A7R4. The next piece is a Sony G Master 1.4 24mm lens and my microphone. And the reason I'm not showing you those 3 items obviously is because that is the kit that I'm filming this video with. So can't really show you the video camera that I'm making the video with. It's not a video camera, it's a mirrorless camera that shoots video. Doesn't matter. The point is that's the kit that I'm shooting with, so I can't obviously do the whole, be like an Inception thing where it's like looking at the thing, looking at you, looking at the I just confused myself. Anyway, so as you're looking at my bag of equipment, just remember there is a camera body, an extra lens, and a microphone that you're not seeing because that's what I'm filming with. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and grab some of the equipment and let's dive right in. I'm going to go ahead and break it down into sections. We'll probably do lenses first, or not probably, I am going to do lenses first, and then I'll kind of do stuff after that, accessories and other things. So when it comes to lenses, I currently own 4 lenses. One is the previously mentioned 24mm, which I'm filming with. The other 3 are kind of like my holy trendy setup that's been modified just a little bit. So the first lens is going to be my 24, I'll get that logo right there nice and shiny in the light, G Master logo, 24-70 f2.8 G Master from Sony. This is probably my favorite lens and probably the one that I use the most. I'll say favorite, but I love them all, to be honest with you. But this one just has the best use in my opinion. At 24-70, it's great for landscape, it's great for portrait, great for street. I can pretty much shoot anything with it, which is what I love about it. The quality of it is great. I mean, color, autofocus, low light performance, pretty much I have no complaints. It's just a great lens overall. And then I do have my custom lens decal on it. I'll get that rotated right. I still have my monitor to the side, that's why I keep looking at it. So just ignore me on that part. I apparently haven't figured out how to set up everything yet. But yeah, that's my custom lens decal. Has my logo on it. It says 24-70 f2.8, so I know exactly what lens it is in case I ever have it kind of sticking up in a camera bag. Instead of having a bunch of Sony caps staring at me, I instead have what each lens is, just a grab and go, which makes it easier. You can actually pick these up on fiftnorth.com, 45 different colors, and you can actually even have custom ones made with your own logo. So make sure you check those out because they're pretty handy when you're looking at all your lenses. So I'll put that one down and find a place to put it without having it roll away, because last thing I need to do is drop a lens on the floor. Next in the lineup is going to be my, this bad boy right here. Let me flip it around again, get the logo all nice and shiny. This is my 70-200 f2.8 G Master OSS. Another fantastic lens that I'm very happy with. This sucker is pretty huge actually. This is going to be my telephoto. I don't use this one as much. Mostly I use it when I do wildlife or when I do sports, but fantastic lens. The stabilization is great on it. Again, focus, color, no complaints at all. Really happy with it. I love some of the changes. For example, the little, let me get that right here. The little window in the lens hood is great for using filters, which my previous Canon 70-200 that I had didn't have that, so I know the new ones do, but the previous one didn't, so I'm pretty happy about that. And then again, I've got my custom lens decal on it to let me know what lens it is. Not that you can really confuse the bright white lens that looks way different than the rest of them, but this is a part of my Trinity, like I said. So I've got the 24 to 70, 70 to 200. That kind of completes that whole range. So I'll go ahead and put that one down too in a safe spot. Sometimes doing these videos with the lenses and just handling them and moving them around, it honestly stresses me out a little bit, because for those of you who know the cost of higher end lenses, a lot of them are, you know, $1,000, $2,000, and so when you're just sitting there handling them around, and you know, I'm balling on a budget here, so I can't really afford to drop one or wreck one. So it's like, set it down nice and bubble wrap. Anyway, the third lens to complete my Trinity typically would be a 15 to 35, a 16 to 35, 36, 38, depending on the brand of the camera, the brand of the manufacturer, the lens, all that good stuff. And I'm not a huge fan of that. I was doing the math on the Sony. I believe it's a 16 to 35, and in my head I was going, I'm going to pay another $2,000 for a lens, and I'm only going to get 16 to 24 of uncharted territory, because the 24 to 35 part's already covered by another already awesome lens, which I just mentioned, right? So I want to do something a little bit different, and then Sony came out with the 12 to 24, giving me an extra 4 millimeters of that unused territory, allowing me to go super wide, and on top of that, just a great lens overall. So that is my Trinity, which is going to be my f2.8 12 to 24 Sony G Master, and I'll get it rotated again. This sucker is wide. If you look at it, I mean, the actual body is pretty darn wide, and what's different about this lens is it has a rounded, I don't know if you guys can see that, I'll kind of bring it closer. The lens itself is rounded, where every other lens is flat, and so it makes it a little bit different because you can't really put filters on the front. There's a reverse or back filter adapter thing you can use if you want to use filters, but it does make it a little bit different than my other lenses from that perspective. But it's fantastic, especially if I want to shoot landscapes super wide. I'm a really big fan of it. Again, I do have it labeled with my handy dandy. I just said handy dandy. Ignore me. It's been a long day. I do have it labeled with my Fifth North lens decals again. Super awesome in my opinion. But yeah, so this is kind of my Trinity of lenses. I'd hold them all together, but again, I don't want to risk the chance of dropping them, so I won't. But that is the 3 lenses that I use, plus, like I said, the 24 millimeter, rounding out the 4 lenses that I currently have in my arsenal. I don't see myself buying any more lenses, because I feel like these hit pretty much everything that I would ever do. The only potential lenses that I might consider going into next year or the rest of this year, and it's a pretty big like, we'll see, you know, but maybe something macro, because I have done macro from time to time and I've enjoyed it, and then maybe something super telephoto, like I used to own a 150 to 600, so maybe something past the 200 range in case I ever want to do you know, even more wildlife, or you know, like shooting the moon, or a lot of times if I'm doing racetrack photos, you know, in the racetracks you're pretty far back, so having that extra reach is kind of nice. So that could be something that I explore, but for now I'm more than happy with the 4 lenses that I have. I should be, because they were freaking expensive, but yeah, definitely jazzed about them, and that is my lens setup. Let's go to accessories next. All my gear is in my Peter McKinnon nomadic photography backpack, which I did do like an initial review / unboxing video on, so if you want to check that out, I'll go ahead and link it up here somewhere in the frame. But definitely a great backpack so far. I'm really enjoying it and fits all this gear really well. With that being said, that bag is fairly water resistant, but just in case, I do also have my rain cover, which is great, very small and slim kind of package. I have it in my camera bag at all times because I do live in the Pacific Northwest, where rains can be, you know, a slight drizzle to all of a sudden sunny to all of a sudden pouring from all directions. So I have that just in case, because I do want to keep my gear safe. So that's also in my camera bag. From there, let me grab some more stuff here. I do have next my, I'll get that nice and in the frame there for you. I do have my Sony Flash. So I'm not a huge Flash user. In fact, I've just started playing with flashes. I've really not had a need for it before, as I mostly shot natural light. But as of late, I've gotten a lot more into flashes and other types of light modifiers, excuse me, to play around with. This particular model, there's 3 different levels of Sony flashes. I believe it's a 30, a 45, and a 60 or 65. I could be wrong. This is the middle of the line one, the 45, and I got it for 2 reasons. One, I didn't really think I needed the high-end one, and then 2, I didn't want to go super low light, so I kind of went in the middle for, you know, like a good balance, price, performance, kind of a good middle ground. Primarily though, I use this for portraits and occasionally for car photography. It's really fun to shoot cars in the dark and then just have a flash hit, and you get a certain reflection off the paint that really just can't be done without a flash. So I do like flashes for that reason. So I do have that, and maybe I'll do a review on this in the future and kind of give you guys my thoughts, but that is also in my camera bag. From there, some of the Peter McKinnon accessories that I got in a bundle with my camera bag. I do have my battery pack. This has, I'll rotate it, 3 batteries in it. So I have a total of 4 batteries. 1 is in the camera at all times, and then I have 3 that I carry. You'll notice 1 has a red arrow on it. So all my batteries I label on one side with a red 5th north arrow, and what that basically means is if the arrow is showing, the battery is flat or dead, it needs to be charged. If the arrow is not showing, the battery is good to go. So this always lets me know what's going on with my batteries. I can just glance at it and go, okay, cool. I have 2 batteries that are good to go if I need them. So always have batteries. There's nothing worse than not having batteries. So there's that. Another Peter McKinnon accessory, the memory card, wallet, if you will. In that I have, so in my camera right now, I have 2 128 gig cards that shoot redundant. I then have 2 extra 128 gig cards in my wallet. I do want to get more cards as I go in case I travel and, you know, whatever. You just always want to have enough memory cards. But for now, basically I have 256 gigs because they are redundant. You can't count all the 4 cards, obviously. And then in the little pouch part here, I have a ton of micro SD cards, which are all they're all 64 gig little micro SD cards. I have some Lexar and some SanDisk ones. Primarily I use those for like action cameras and stuff like that, drones. So that's what they're in here for. At the moment, I actually don't own any drones or action cameras, as I've sold all of them. I am getting ready to add that to my gear again as I kind of upgrade as I go, but for now, no action cameras or drones. Back to what I do have though, another item that came with my bag is a filter holder. Really big fan of the Peter McKinnon setup, by the way. All the accessories fit in the bag really well. Everything kind of comes together, so I do like that. I'm a little bit of an organization freak, so this works really well for me. So in my filter case, I actually don't have a lot of filters, which is kind of weird, but I'll show you why. First, I do have a circular polarizer. This is from Polar Pro, which is right here where my finger is. This is the only filter that I have in this case. It's an 82 millimeter, and other than that, all I have is step-up rings. So I purchased quite a few step-up rings because I didn't want to have to buy a bunch of filters. They can get really expensive, as the ones that I'm about to show you. And so the step-up rings allow me to use the same filters on all of my lenses. So I've got 1, 2, and I thought I had 3. Maybe I just have 2. 1, 2, yeah, 2. Reason I have 2 is a 77 millimeter to 82 and a 67 to 82. All my lenses are one of those 3 sizes, so that's where they're at. I do have an extra slot here and an extra 2 slots here. I currently don't have a use for them, but it's nice to have in case in the future I decide to add more filters of some kind. I also have in the front a quick microfiber cloth and then a couple of more cloths in the back to keep everything clean. So that's what's in that case. I'll go ahead and shut that and move on to the next. So this little tool is awesome. It actually was in my video for great gift ideas for photographers. I'll go ahead and link that as well if you guys want to check it out. This is probably one of the best things ever, and I literally mean ever, because it has been so useful. It has saved me in so many different situations. Just fantastic. So first of all, a company is called Small Rig. They build a bunch of different stuff for cameras, but this is a multi-tool that they make. A bunch of different Allen wrenches, star key, Phillips, flathead. The flathead is awesome. It's super big, great for tripods and stuff like that. really tough, really strong, and it was 20 bucks. So inexpensive, but not cheap because the quality is top notch. It also has holes for knowing what thread or what size a screw is. So just overall a great tool. Like I said, it's saved me a bunch of times, and I always keep it in my bag because I always need it. It comes in a cool little pouch too, so you can kind of put that in there, close it, and keep it safe. But great tool. Is, like I said, it saved me a bunch of times. Speaking of filters, and I like how I talked about filters, went on to something else, then went back to speaking of filters. But speaking of filters, I do have 4 filters that I currently use outside of that circular polarizer that I mentioned, and they are the Polar Pro Peter McKinnon NDs. I do have 4 of them, 2 to 5 and 6 to 9 stop in both the Signature Edition and in the Mist Edition, which is going to be your VND plus diffusion. I did actually do a review on these as well, so another video to link up. I feel like today I'm just like, video link. Anyway, there is a video link, check it out. I talk about if they're worth the money and what they do, but here they are. These bad boys are awesome. So these are my Peter McKinnon VNDs. As you can tell, they're out in the wild because they come in these great Defender 360 cases that protect them, I would say, actually better than even my filter case, and they obviously don't fit in the filter case when they're this size. So if you want to know more about what this is and why it's like this, obviously watch that video and explains it, but those are filters that are in my camera bag. Moving on from there, let's see, I've covered all this stuff. The only thing that's left is this bad boy here, which is going to be my Accessory Box. Another one of those wonderful cases that comes with the bundle that I got with my camera bag. I love this thing because 2 reasons. One, it's organization. Everything that's awkward and weird shape that wouldn't normally fit well in a camera bag is in this box. 2, I love it because it has all the stuff that I need. So let me show you what's inside of it. So let's see if I can get it on camera here without spilling everything. So this is all the gear inside of it, and I'll break it down piece by piece. So first and foremost, I have 2 of these bad boys. These are 10,000 milliamp battery backups. First of all, I love that they're aluminum. The green color is kind of nice, I like it. And then the ports on it are amazing. 2 USB-A, 1 USB-C, and 1 USB micro. So a lot of ports. And at 10,000 milliamps, they do a great job. So huge fan of them, and they're also in my great gift ideas for photographers video. These guys are great too because I always find myself out shooting and I need more juice, whether it's on my camera. You can actually charge my camera with this, which is great. My phone, any other electronic accessory, action cam, whatever, this will charge it. So I have 2 of them, like I said, which means that I have 20,000 milliamps at my disposal, which is great. So those are in there. I'm not going to pull them all out, but I have an absolute metric ton of cables, and they're all tied with these awesome bendy wire tie things. They're also in my gift idea video, but I have a bunch of different cables in my bag here, or in my little box. Cable wise, I mean, I've got iPhone cables, I've got USB-C, I've got USB-A, USB micro. Pretty much anything that I carry with me that has a charging port, I have a cable for it just to be good to go. Whether in a hotel room, whatever the case might be, it's all in there. For those cables, you obviously have to have wall adapters. So wall adapter right there, voila. You probably noticed the gold Fifth North arrow. I put gear decals on all my gear. This is great for, you're shooting with a group of people. There's chargers everywhere, there's batteries everywhere, there's stuff everywhere. All your stuff is labeled so you know what it is. Again, fifthnorth.com, I do sell them. Not only my logo, but I can also do custom ones for you for your logo. So check them out if you're interested. But wall pucks, this one's great. It's got USB-A and USB-C, and it'll do both at the same time. So convenience in the fact that I don't have to carry 2, I just have 1, and it does that. I have 2 of these in the box, so I'm good to go for up to 4 charging devices at one time. So that's in there. I also have a couple of adapters, like memory card adapters going from USB to micro SD, and then last but not least, good stuff in here. In the top compartment, I have a pen, which might not sound all that fancy, but I always find myself needing a pen to write stuff down, so having a little small pen inside my gear at all times really helps. And speaking of pens, obviously something to write on, so I do have a notebook in my gear at all times. This particular notebook is a Word notebook, which is what I used to use all the time. I'm a big fan of their notebooks. They're just small, simple, good to use. I recently switched though. I started actually making my own Fifth North notebooks. Very similar in size, the main difference being that obviously it's mine, so I'm going to promote my stuff obviously, and it has a couple of things that these don't have. On the inside covers, it does have some photography tips and things like camera settings, measurement charts, all that kind of stuff inside. So but anyway, I always have these on me because ideas always strike at the most random times. Write it down real quick, video idea or photo idea, or I need to write down some, you never know. You always got to write down something, so I always have this on me. I like to write stuff down. I don't know, I have we all have a really fancy smartphone, right? It can do all these amazing things, but for me, just writing it down works better, so that's what that is. I get all jazzed about writing stuff down. Don't judge me. I'm kind of weird like that. And then the last two things in this box, as I try to organize this back, I'll just do that later. 2 items left in the box, which are going to be, one, the ties that I was just telling you about. I don't know if you guys can see that. I'll bring it a little bit closer. So these are really cool because they're metal and rubber, and they bend and they keep their shape. And they're way, way better than Velcro straps for cables, because Velcro straps get stuck to everything that you're not supposed to get them stuck to, like the inside of this accessory box, the inside of my camera bag. It's just frustrating. These are great because they don't stick to stuff, but they keep stuff together. So I recommend these. Another item in my video for gift guide. And then last but not least, my Fifth North business cards. Kind of old school, I know, but I prefer to just send people a link or a QR code to my social media, to my YouTube, to my whatever. But there's still going to be those people out there that are a little bit old school that are still going to want a physical business card. So just trying to put this back together because it's driving me kind of crazy. So just bear with me as you watch the video of a guy just trying to put a box back together. Anyway, so yeah, I still have the business cards because there are people that just want a physical item to give out, and obviously you're trying to get gigs booked, you're trying to share your content, you're trying to share your work, so having those is always a good idea. So yeah, that's it for my gear. That's everything that's in my camera bag for 2021. I don't really see it changing too much for the rest of the year, but who knows, maybe like I said, maybe I add one of those lenses that I mentioned, or perhaps a drone is in my future, or maybe an action camera. But for the most part, that is all the gear that I need to shoot just about everything. Obviously, there's things like tripods. I do have a tripod that I didn't show you in the video kit right now, obviously, so I can't show you. And then obviously lighting, but typically the lighting stays in the studio setup like this, and I don't take it with me, so it's not in my camera bag, which is why it's not in the video. But I'd love to hear about what's in your camera bag, what your favorite lenses are, what your favorite gear is, so definitely leave it in the comments below, because there should be hopefully more than one. Outside of that though, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I know I had fun making it, and I'll see you guys next week. Peace.